Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Let's take a look at the forecast for the moon transiting Libra, Tuesday, September 23rd. Activates complicated feelings and potential challenges to be faced in romantic partnerships, family dynamics, or with friends and larger groups, as the moon forms a grand cross aspect pattern with Chiron retrograde in Aries, Jupiter in Cancer, and Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. You could feel as though your energy is being stretched thin as you attempt to devote equal amounts of time to each of those areas of life where maintaining a nurturing relationship has a direct impact on the overall quality of your life. But as those planets in the signs associated with the first house of self, the fourth house of home and family, the seventh house of one-on-one relationships and marriage, and the 11th house of friends, groups, and organizations are engaged in squares and oppositions with each other, you may not be able to give your best attention to all of them. But when you prioritize one area of life over another to focus your attention fully on just one task or one relationship, you could upset anyone who has to wait their turn. You may also find that expectations, obligations, or demands that you hold toward others, or they to you, can stir up negative feelings like resentment, resistance, reluctance, or regret if the give and take of energy is out of balance. The Sun conjunct Mercury in Libra, opposing Neptune retrograde in Aries, conjunct Saturn retrograde in Pisces, bisecting a kite aspect pattern, pulling in the energies of Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius, indicate that not everyone can and will be happy. But whatever must be done to support the realization of a dream, the bigger picture, or to initiate the necessary transformation or change will be done, and the adjustments and accommodations to facilitate that will be made. In matters of love and money, risk-taking, spontaneity, and originality combine with magnetic desire and an actual demonstration of intent. Don't just say you are going to do something. Show up with the outline written, the rough sketch in hand, the outfit you bought for the event you wish to attend, etc. Now is the time to act as if, even though you can't see the outcome yet. And if you have to improvise, pretend, and exaggerate a bit to show someone a glimpse of what else is possible in the future, you might impress them with your originality and audacity. So, there are so many more aspect patterns than I could even mention within the confines of space that I have to write. Plus, I don't know how much everybody tunes in to that. I think some people just read past the astrological stuff and just want to know, well, what does it mean? What's the day going to feel like? But for those of you who are studying or learning or interested, I like to show you what's going on. My dream is that someday astrology is going to be a subject in school, grade school, and everybody gets to learn their chart from kindergarten on so that they understand it and they can utilize it to live their best life. This is just a language like anything else. It's a system, it's a language, and it is not as complicated as some people think it may be or as it might appear. Just look at the geometry that's going on in here and the connections between planets, and you can get an idea of the ease and flow through the blue lines that represent more harmonious aspects that put those planets that are connected with each other through those blue lines, helping each other out. And they represent the ease, flow, the natural talents and abilities, path of least resistance, and then the red lines, not necessarily bad, but definitely activating, challenging, friction producing, button pushing, itches that need scratching, and the planets are pushing against each other and not wanting to cooperate quite as much. And I find that usually it is those red lines and the red geometric structures you see, like this grand cross that we have today, that get people moving, where people are going to put forth greater energy to actually make something happen because they are feeling the intensity of those aspects. So we've got Jupiter in Cancer, we've got the moon, which is approaching Mars. By the time we get to the evening, it's going to be closer to Mars. And tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the moon in Scorpio with Mars. But for now, the focus is still on Libra energy today, which is, well, both Libra and Scorpio can be relationship oriented. Libra is very concerned with etiquette, correctness, perfection, harmony, balance, negotiation, and debate. And the shadow side of Libra would be coming out more today as it opposes Chiron in Aries, issues of, well, I want this, but you want that, or how can we make something work together? But we also have aspect patterns that are supporting the harmony or to help people get together to work together, such as Venus in Virgo, which basically wants to solve the problem or fix things. And it is a planet of affection, pleasure, beauty. And it is supporting Mars in Scorpio. And this is where we get the heightened passion and magnetic attraction. But there's a practical, pragmatic tone to Virgo. And that in turn forms this trine to Chiron, which is very good for a window or an opportunity for love to become real. If somebody decides that that is what they want and they're going to make moves toward it. And that can be love and or money, with that Cinderella aspect there between Venus and Chiron. Jupiter is also in its own freestanding trine here. So the two benevolent planets, Venus and Jupiter, are making trines on their own that are outside of this grand trine and kite. So Jupiter in Cancer, even though it is under pressure and maybe bringing up family stuff because Jupiter is in a sign associated with home and family, and whatever the growth is, there may be resistance to it if you are attempting to grow and expand in some way. There may be family members, friends, partners who are saying, no, what about me? I want attention, or you can't do that because you'll be different and I want you to stay the way you are. But inevitably, we have change and transformation through Uranus and Pluto in this grand trine, directing all the energy to the top of this kite, with Neptune in self-aware Aries and Saturn in Pisces. So following that dream or vision, staying true to your heart and choosing the growth, and basically treating even, those who are resisting you with the kindness and tolerance, the understanding that if you're going through changes, you could be scaring them. You could be upsetting them or frightening them. If you're wanting to grow or expand or do new things, then there could be a resistance with, this is an interesting aspect, Venus square to Uranus, because on the one hand, there can be some love at first sight going on for some people, or they just suddenly have that moment when they realize, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do, or this is the person I want to be with. It can be quite sudden, and it doesn't have to be a big realization. It can be subtle, but it can be a sudden knowing. And for some people, it can also be a realization of, I need my freedom. I need to remove myself from this job, this person, this place, this relationship. I need to go. I need to break free. So what's going to happen really depends a lot upon where you are and what you would like to happen. Then we have this yod with Mars, and this is going to be more active tomorrow than the grand square, grand cross is, because the moon will join Mars, and this yod with Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune will come into play quite strongly. But we'll get to that tomorrow. As for today, be true to your heart, follow your heart, do your best. Realize that everybody's going to have some of their buttons being pushed or have some triggers going on today. And that can be you, that can be others. And not everybody might be happy with a situation, but it is possible for people to get together under a goal, under the bigger ideal or plan. That is possible because we do have the grand trine and the kite directing up here toward Saturn and Neptune. It may require that somebody makes a bit more sacrifice than another. But it really depends upon the individual and the situation and whether it's personal in a one-on-one way or with a larger group. Venus is in Virgo. Think of service to others, be patient, be kind. Ask, like, where is this coming from? If something comes up and is aggravating you, or if somebody's not in a wonderful mood, maybe they're tired, maybe they're hungry, maybe it's not about you. That can be part of the issue with today's Libra moon opposing Chiron in Aries. You may think something's about you when actually it isn't about you at all. It could be about somebody else entirely, but maybe there's projection going on, or maybe you just get caught up in somebody else's energy and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and you bear the brunt of somebody else's mood. But do lean into the kindness that the Venus Chiron aspect, as well as Jupiter to Saturn and Neptune, are telling you are available to you. You can do better and you can be better. You can share better, really, is what Jupiter in Cancer is saying. And you can do better, is what Venus in Virgo is saying. That doesn't mean you have to erase boundaries or not have them. Mars in Scorpio will be mindful of boundaries. That may come into play more tomorrow. But we'll be back again tomorrow to go over that chart and see what the forecast holds. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy your day.